I'm with the do.
Like Jesus on Easter Sunday, I present to you our Celia in heaven.
She is risen.
She is risen for a bonus episode.
That's right.
She's not here full time, guys. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, sorry.
We have.
You guys can go back to thinking I'm dead after this.
We'll
or
do
gone or missing.
our Celia in heaven.
Yes. Here I am.
And we have a Yeti.
A small man has joined us today.
He is an American Girl fan.
Yes.
He talks about the books all the time.
That's right.
He
Who's his favorite?
His favorite is definitely Kit.
Kit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because she's scrappy like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were saying he looks like a dead ringer for coconut.
Yeah. And that's the only reason I have him.
Boop. That's right.
He's just.
You're really committing to the American Girl lifestyle.
Yeah. I was
now.
like, what do I need in my life if not a real life like fluffball dog?
A small dog that looks exactly like. Oh.
And who's licking. Guys, so if our mics go weird, it's because Yeti's licking the mic pack. But
well, he's getting into sound engineering.
He's learning. He's learning the ropes.
Dogs and media.
As you guys know, I'm a solo podcaster for the most part, and so I need someone to help me, and that's why I got Yeti.
And he's a great production assistant.
He's just here. Yeah, but guys, welcome back to American Girl Talk. We have Celia joining us for a bonus episode where we're covering dun 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 the Molly movie.
Yeah. And you guys know how we felt about Molly.
And boy, did we feel the same way about her movie.
You know, it's tough to say that not much has changed.
But maybe it got worse.
But maybe it's like if a child you already thought was kind of selfish and evil was made into live action.
Yes.
It's actually worse to see it happen.
Yeah, it's worse to watch that child be selfish and evil in real time than to imagine what that child would be like in a book.
Yeah, it's tough.
And joining us for this is our American Girl cocktails from the American Girl cookbook, the official American Girl cookbook. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is Molly's Sipping Victory Sparkling Cocktail. I'll look up the exact name, but that's the basic premise of it. I was supposed to do it when I was over there, but I forgot.
That's okay.
And I also, and I'll send a picture of it onto this video, made Molly's sibling rivalry like sweet treats, which is Rice Krispie treats with like salty and sprinkles on top of them. And you can have them before you go.
Oh, I would love one before
and they're
I
really
go.
good. And like I said, the Rice Krispie treat was easy. The cocktail recipe was pretty easy. And so we got a little brunch sippy sip beforehand. What do you think?
It's excellent.
It's kind of a Celia coated cocktail.
It is a Celia coated cocktail. It is quite good. I regret to say that I like something Molly associated.
I know her cocktails and her food
They kind of cooked here.
That's the best thing about
Literally.
Molly.
You kind of cooked here.
And there's a few others that I'm excited for you to try.
Okay, I'm excited.
There's like a peach schnapps punch from like Addie that I think you're gonna like.
I am interested in that.
Yeah.
I do like a fruity thing.
And as I said in the last episode, guys, what I'm gonna try and do is like we're doing Rebecca next.
Okay, cute.
So for whoever's in studio for the record, I'm gonna cook, except not for me, Rebecca, with Chelsea, because it's like pastrami and Chelsea's a vegetarian.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So
it's about balance.
It is about balance. It's all just about finding our way.
We all have to.
We have to find our way on the home front, you know?
Oh my God. American Girl Molly.
Yeah.
A Tale from the Home Front.
So yeah, what are your initial... So guys, full disclosure, we did watch this movie like 2 weeks ago, and then through a series of unfortunate events had to keep rescheduling. And as good podcasters, we could have been like, I should rewatch this to refreshen it, but there was no way I was going to rewatch that movie.
No, it's here's the thing. The other movies have been fun.
Yeah.
This movie's interesting because it has a real star celebrity in it.
I know, Molly Ringwald.
Molly Ringwald, hello.
And she doesn't play Molly.
And she doesn't play Molly, though honestly might have helped save the movie, to be honest. My initial thoughts were that it was boring.
It was boring. And they tried to spice it up.
And I think, yeah, they tried to spice it up, but I think the issue was that, like, and I think we had this issue with the books, but to some level, her drama is just so much more, like, insular.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it is, like, the conflict you feel as a kid about, like, war and, like, the changes you have to make and the sacrifices and not understanding because you're a kid, which I think as, like, a subplot in a show or even a B plot in a movie, that's fine.
I agree. I think the thing that always has been tough with Molly is that, like, and it is the challenge that they run with doing a, like, World War II doll, is that obviously things were different on the home front in America during World War II, but it was more different. And like whoever was alive during World War II can correct me on this. But it was more different in a like life is slightly more inconvenient than we're used to way, rather than like life has categorically changed in day-to-day ways. It was like we can't have birthday cake. We can't do this. Like gas prices are like too bad, so we can't drive as often. It was things like that. It wasn't like with some of the other girls where like the world around them was changing rapidly as they were growing up.
Right.
And so, and while it does make sense, I always feel like, and we talked about this in our Molly episodes, that you can relate to Molly being a like 9, 10-year-old who is inconvenienced and frustrated by this. When you actually know what was happening in World War II, Molly seems like a huge brat.
Yeah. Well, and we both watched this a YouTuber watch all of the movies, and I think he has a very apt observation, which is just that like with Molly, she is always kind of miserable. She is always a brat and a problem, and it always works out for her. She truly has like almost no consequences across any of her books for any of her bad behavior.
I know.
And she never really reflects on it either.
Well, and they did cut out our most egregious plot of her bullying her alleged friend.
Yeah, oh my God.
Which I'm glad, because I think they even realized.
Also, her getting sick with the
Yeah,
hair
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. They really, I think they changed the most about this
Yes.
than they did for other movies.
Yeah.
There's the most plot changes. I would say
Yeah.
2 were for the better, I thought.
Okay.
And the rest were for the worse. All right, so let's get into it. And yeah, thank you for Yeti for alerting us to.
See?
Like I said, good video,
Perfect.
good audio producer.
You're onto big things, King.
Yeah.
Big stuff coming.
Yeah, he's 2 years old and ready to take the world by storm.
Yes.
Yes,
Look at
he
that
is.
face.
Look at him. He's such a good American
This is what
boy.
you guys miss out on if you listen to audio only.
Yeah, you're missing a little white dog just
You're gonna want to lock in.
locking in on Celia.
Yeah.
Love at first sight.
Well, we always joke that Caroline's boy dogs have really had a
I had a thing for
had a
Celia.
thing for me.
Yeah, when I foster dogs, they all are magnetically drawn to Celia. Famously, not a dog person.
I will say though, like all of your dogs, especially Blaze and now Yeti,
And now Mr. Yeti.
they just zen out, which I think we've talked about before, is always my thing.
Yeah,
I don't mind a dog that's like if we're
Doing
just
this.
chill homies.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Great.
No, that's like
Love
to not just get right into it. That's the thing I like about small
Just to
dogs.
not get- So in typical, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it,
You
guys.
We'll get to it.
That's the thing I always like. I mean, I love all dogs. I literally, the reason I'm dressed like I am is I was just at puppy yoga for a Great Pyrenees rescue. What was that? A little lurch.
He's like, hello.
But I prefer small dogs because even when they are being too much, they're 17 pounds of too much as opposed to 68 to
I feel like
130.
he's a good size.
He is a good
for a
size.
dog.
He's not creepy small.
He's not creepy. Thank you. That's
I was-
exactly what I was gonna say.
I was on a run the other day and someone was walking their Yorkie and it was too small.
No,
And I was like, it's
no.
tough.
Some dogs are too small.
It is, but he is just right.
That's right.
And so,
So-
let's get
Let's
into
get into it.
So, oh yeah, he's done. Are you done?
Oh,
Whoop.
okay.
All right.
Oh,
That's over tea
that
kettle.
was really crazy,
Okay, he's playing with his duck.
bro. It's goose time.
Yeah. So if there's some crinkling, I'm not gonna edit it out. You'll just hear it.
Yeah. It's fine.
All right. So
It's
we
a bonus episode.
So bonus episode. Yeah, this is you guys know. Last week I put
You
out
guys know how it is.
well last week, so this technically should have gone out like last Tuesday
Right.
now. But I knew I wasn't gonna edit it between Sunday and Tuesday.
Yeah, babe.
Spoiler guys. And so I put out like a 15-minute of me just rambling. So
I love that. Why not?
apologies guys for
No.
what might be the worst episode.
It's what
to be
people yearn
released.
for.
Yeah, it's just me being like, I read the cookbook.
I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Hey.
But it's good. It'll be fine. It's there. It's content. Content is king.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it.
Leave Caroline your thoughts.
Yeah.
Leave her some questions.
Yeah.
Some for her next solo yap.
Yeah, for my solo yap, which is a
send-
lot harder than I thought it
send her
would
some-
be.
I think it is hard to talk into space. Like
Yeah.
what even if you have something to like
Well,
plan
I
for.
gulp a lot more than I thought I did.
That is the harrowing thing about listening to yourself back on tape. You're like, oh my God, why do I talk like that? Or you're like, who breathes like that? The other day I listened to a voice memo I sent my mom and I was like, I sound insane.
There was one moment that I had to cut out where I was thinking of a thought and my eyes looked so sad. I was just like, wow,
You're like, wow.
what's she been through?
The sadness of 1,000 sorrows.
So the movie starts with our favorite motif, which is a picture that we zoom in on, and it turns into a scene.
Yeah.
And it's Molly, Susan, and Linda going to the movies.
Yes.
And one thing I did like that they kind of did as like a scene transition was like the World War II like newsreels and
Yes.
kind of what was going on.
I wrote movie news.
Yeah.
And then every time it happened, I'd be like, we're back to the movie news again.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we don't want to explain this, so we're going to have a transition, be
Yeah.
like, extra.
Yeah.
World War II is still going on. The Nazis are moving
Here
in on
we
France.
are.
So, like,
And I was like, wow, for a children's movie? Okay.
it's like, Molly McIntyre is back on the home front. And you're like,
She's dancing.
yeah, she's dancing to the song, saving those soldiers.
Well,
It was a lot.
yeah, she's saving those soldiers for sure.
So they go and they go see a movie and they go to the soda shop after.
Did say I wish that like a proper soda bar still existed.
know.
Like, that's fun.
It's up your alley too.
It is up my alley.
So you got to move to Utah, I think, is what you're saying.
I know. No, they just opened like a swig.
Yeah, we have a swig now, don't we?
No, yeah, somewhere near us.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to
We're
investigate.
gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to put 7 unnecessary things in a soda.
Oh, like some sort of Celia concoction of a
evil-
dirty Shirley.
Yeah, babe. Yeah, with probably some cream.
Oh, I'm excited for
People
it.
are like people who don't like a dirty soda. I understand it if it congeals, but made right, so good.
I've never had one.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
I'm curious enough to try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
So they're at the soda shop and they order like this. So this was like I literally like wanted to scream about
It's coming back to me.
customer service. They go and they say to the guys like, "What can I get you?" And they take 5 minutes to be like, "Hey, we want a sundae." And this is all the things he went on it. And he's like, No, he went like nuts and we want chocolate syrup and cherries and this flavor and this flavor. And he's like, okay. And he goes, we don't have ice cream actually. And I'm like, why did you let them go through that whole spiel about wanting ice cream? Like, because they go into great detail about each of them takes a turn saying what they want on the ice cream. And he's like, totally get it.
He's like, no, for sure.
He's like, actually, we don't
Cool.
have ice cream, so you can't get that.
Yeah, he's like, fuck off.
And he's like, sorry,
Thanks,
rations.
Thanks, children.
No cream.
No cream for you kids. No cream for children.
And so they get cherry sodas.
They did get cherry sodas. And then it's time to gossip.
Yeah, and so then they see that their teacher,
Miss Campbell.
Miss Campbell, and oh my god, this movie really laid into like the Miss Campbell hysteria
Okay. Thank you.
in a way that I was like, have we got a boner for this teacher?
Okay, I have to be honest with you. It was giving like as two film women,
yeah.
two film women using the skills I paid a lot of money for in college. It was giving that she had like a crush.
Miss Campbell's mentioned like every scene.
She's mentioned every scene, and there are multiple scenes where like Molly is like yearningly like looking off at her in like the way that you do when you have like a crush on like your teacher when you're a kid and you don't know any better.
And then they're like talking about like Miss Campbell's in the soda shop with them.
Yes.
And they're like,
she's with her
fiance.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that must be her fiance. He's like just as handsome as she said.
Mhm.
It's like,
They're talking so loud.
well, also he wasn't handsome.
No, he was like generic white guy actor.
He was like the most like squarely built like
Yeah.
Italian American.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They're like, wow, hottie alert.
He has been recently cast in my head. Oh, hello.
Okay.
Up.
Adventure time.
There we go.
Right.
Anyway, they were like, oh, he's so hot. Like, and look. And then Molly starts really loudly being like, and then Miss Campbell's going to ask us all to be her bridesmaids, her favorite 3 students. And then Miss Campbell comes over.
Yeah.
And is like, hey, weirdos, like, let me live.
And Molly just says, yikes.
It's weird.
And then the scene ends.
Yeah. And then we go to dinner and Molly is telling Dad about it because Dad's still here at this point.
Yes, Dad is home.
And Molly is telling a story in a way that I did feel was relatable as like, no one else at this table cares about this story. Hello. Yeti.
Figuring.
Did you do anything?
No, we're good.
Nice. All right.
Marked safe from dog attack.
He's scared of the camera though. That's okay.
He's unsure.
This is a new level of the podcast is a curious dog.
This is what the bonus episodes are for.
Yeah. Stop it. Stop being more curious than you've ever been.
I know. He's like, actually, right now, Mom, I'm ready to be really interested in everything.
Right. Let me pause it for a second and see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. He's fine. He's never done that. So they're at dinner and Dad is still home.
Yes.
And Molly's like, and it was so embarrassing because like she was in the soda shop and everyone's like,
Everybody's just eating dinner.
you know, when a kid's telling you a story and they think it's like the coolest thing that's ever happened to them. but you are otherwise unimpressed by the story.
Yes, you're
Exactly
like,
what's
okay,
happening.
child. Yeah.
And then cameo, Molly Ringwald shows up.
Y'all. Molly Ringwald boots the house down in this movie.
How?
I'm dying to. I feel like they were like, oh, you know what'll get moms to take their kids to see this movie? Molly Ringwald.
And Molly Ringwald doesn't look like Mom.
No.
Like, Mom is supposed to be very classic 1940s. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay. I think my issue with Molly Ringwald's stunt casting
Yeah.
is that she is the only visibly like recognizably famous person in
Yeah.
the movie. So I think the issue is that like when you're watching it, you're like, well, that's Molly Ringwald in a movie with people who all look like they're in community theater plays. Like in a way, like you get what I'm saying.
Complimentary.
Everybody looks normal, which I think is a boon to the movie. And then Molly Ringwald is there, and you're like, that's a celebrity, that's a famous woman. Nobody else in the movie is like even close to her caliber of talent. Or at least I think like in Samantha's movie and Felicity's movie, obviously both of the main girls like have gone on to have their own
Careers, yeah.
careers. I don't think Molly's actress.
I don't think she did, and I don't think she will.
You know, we'll get to the acting. But yeah, I felt like she felt out of place because I was like, she is like running a circus around these people acting wise.
But at the same time, I've seen her do it in other things before. Molly Ringwald has this tendency to like eye act where her eyes bug out of her head and she's like, oh, the war front is going on, so we need. I'm like, why are your eyes so big?
Yeah.
Like, ma'am.
Also, she gets like 9 different costume changes.
She does. They're cute costumes.
They are cute costumes. I actually thought the costuming was quite good.
She's just like, she has a way of being very put upon, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, Mom felt a little more put upon than my mom in the Molly books,
Yes.
where it's like burdened.
Yeah.
But it makes sense by her husband seemingly on a whim decision to join the war effort in this
you
movie.
guys. Oh my God.
Which we'll get
I
to.
will say, I actually was like, oh, this makes Dad look bad.
I know. We'll get there in a minute, but they like paused it as like he came home and was like, I'm going.
Yeah, he's like, so I have to.
So I want to.
Okay. Oh yeah, I wrote Dad is here, a bunch of question marks. But also at dinner, they're saying that Molly can't really have a birthday party.
Yeah, so Molly wants
Because
to.
of the rations.
So much like all the books, they like, or the movies that we've watched so far, they're basically like sloshing together all the different plots of most of the books. And I think so far, the one plot that we've missed in every single one is a Saves the Day.
Yeah.
I think.
Which
Yeah.
is yeah, I think you're right.
Did they have Saves the Day and Felicity? Did Ben run away? Yeah, they did.
Ben did run away.
But they've kind of like basically mixed
It's usually like one book feels like it's completely missing.
and
like
they always
every
end
time.
with Christmas. It feels like
Yeah.
So
you gotta end with
we
Christmas.
gotta end with Christmas because what life doesn't end with Christmas?
So true.
So so we're talking about Molly's birthday and she's like, I want to have like a fancy tea party. I think that'd be great. And they're like, well, Molly, the war, we cannot.
We can't.
And Molly's like, well, may I be excused then because I've lost my appetite.
Yeah, so Molly really starts her reign of terror early in the movie.
And the good thing about this movie too is how much of a curmudgeon Jill is.
Oh my God.
She's a mere buzzkill sister.
Both of the sibling actors,
Jill and Todd.
yeah, were hamming it up.
Or Brad.
Or
Todd's the little one who got moved out of the, like there's
he's like not
he's gone.
yeah.
No Todd.
Okay, I was like, I feel like a sibling is missing.
Yeah,
but
Todd's gone.
I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah,
to look
Todd
at-
is gone.
Yeah, Todd is gone. Yeah, Jill and Brad.
Brad. Let's say it's Brad.
Yo, I don't know, you guys. You guys can correct us.
Brad and Todd are two of my brother's names, so we can like
So,
take it with a
It all works.
grain of
Out.
salt.
Yeah, you know.
Born 10 years later. Same names, but yeah, Jill is like constantly like just guilting Molly about not caring enough about the war effort, which Molly needs, I think. So
Yeah.
A+ for Jill.
Yeah.
So they keep talking about the teacher and they're
Yeah.
in class now and they're
these
still
girls are constantly talking.
yeah, they're in class
God.
and they're like sitting next to each other and they're talking about how great she is in class while she's teaching the class. And then she asks where like London, England is to Molly and Molly doesn't hear. And then Allison answers. And I said they did Allison dirty.
Yeah. They try to set it up to be like, oh no, see, like Molly's justified in not liking her because she's
she's a
kind
little
of like a
freak.
know-it-all freak. And I'm like, it seems like Molly was being disrespectful in class.
Yeah.
And Allison was paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
That
But she's just too eager. The Allison actress is like one of those, like, it's like a chihuahua of a child,
yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah.
I know the answer. No.
Also, again,
Oh.
unfortunately, something I feel like I've noticed in all of the movies, the like secondary actors all seem like they're stage actors and they're acting too big for camera.
It's like a local Chicago, a local Illinois theater,
Yeah, so they're good at what they're doing. It just reads weird because it's
It's just
also
different.
it's
Yeah.
just different. You're
Yeah.
like you're on camera, like it doesn't need to be that big.
I know.
But yeah, I agree. The little girl actress. I mean, she's cute,
She is, but
but yeah,
and so they're talking in class, and Molly gets a little shamed. And then everyone in the class goes through like, I know where France is because my brother's there, fighting the
Yeah.
war effort.
yeah,
And then Miss Campbell's like, my fiance is gonna be there soon, and he's gonna be just fine.
yeah. Wink.
And we're
I
like,
hope nothing bad happens.
yeah, I hope this all goes okay.
And they're like, wow, Miss Campbell's hot fiance is going to war,
And she's hot too.
and she's hot too.
This is gonna be crazy.
Two hot people,
Two hot people?
separated by the ocean.
It's hotter
I
than
don't
you
think so. Not on our watch.
And we do get tap lessons early.
Yeah.
Miss Lavonda still slays. I'll say.
Oh my god! All her outfits and her hairdos in the movie.
As someone who can't dance at all, I would love to be a dance teacher and just wear the flowiest clothing and like a shawl that I drape around myself.
It feels very vibe based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to know how to dance to
I
be a
don't-
child's dance teacher.
Oh, you for sure don't. You for
You
sure
just need to
don't.
dress the part, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Also, like half of the stuff now is like if you could do interpretive dance.
Yeah.
And at that point, like who's gonna tell you you're wrong? It's interpretive.
And they're
And
like,
then you could wear that flowy shawl.
exactly. And they're doing the tap. The tap is like more of a thing, which also I think makes more sense that they'd all be in like a year-round tap class.
Yeah.
But the most unhinged thing is they talk about the Miss Victory and they say like, if you do really well at this, then you're gonna go travel with the USO. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. They're like, we're gonna ship off a child to entertain the soldiers around the United States.
to go to the Pacific Quarter.
Yeah, and you're like, no. And all the children are like, yeah, okay, that's
can't wait.
like the dream then.
Can't wait
We'll
to be in Poland.
Yeah, I can't wait to be shipped off. I can't wait to drop out of middle school, elementary school, and then ship off with the soldiers.
Yeah.
They
And
need me.
they're really excited about it, and they're walking home after practice, and Molly's like, I'm gonna do it. And our girl Linda, actually I could not tell Linda or Susan apart.
I was gonna say I wrote down their names and then I just started being like her friends because I was like, I don't know which one's which.
Well, and then like they didn't look like they were supposed to.
They didn't look like they were supposed to, and to be honest, like they would disappear for like stretches of time in the movie and then show back up like we were supposed to be like, oh yeah, her beloved friends.
But the consistency was they still were Molly's number one obs.
Well, yeah.
Because Molly's like,
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
do this. And one of them was like, no offense, but you're a terrible dancer.
Yeah, she's like, that's cute, haha.
don't you have to be good to be
Wow.
Miss Victory?
Did you have to like be like pretty and fun and likable to be Miss Victory, Molly?
And Molly's like, yeah, I'm going to get there.
Molly's like, okay, I can figure it out.
don't worry about it. I'll get there.
They also don't give her glow up or anything, which I felt like bad about for her.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I think
her
that
child glow up.
the glow up plot is fun because it's like when she bonds with her sister, but her sister was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we-
I feel like we lost like the one or two charm points in the movie that like
we really
Molly
did. They took out
had.
anything charming about Molly and just
Yes.
left the bad.
Yes.
And then they added in the weird, which is the jitterbug scene with Dad that comes
Oh
next.
my god.
Guys, I watched this with friend of the pod and correspondent Chelsea, and there's a scene where Dad takes Molly out on a day date, and they go to like a town square gazebo jitterbug competition. And the energy, as Chelsea said, quote unquote, is terrible.
It's really weird. It's really weird.
It's one of those weird daddy daughter scenes that like is trying to be like, wow, she's his girl, but it comes off, I hate to say, kind of creepy.
It was a weird scene, and I literally think part of the issue with the dad and Molly is that we didn't get the dad at all in the books.
Yeah.
So even though
Although
I
I
know
will say, as a
Valerie
quick pause
consults,
for it-
did she write this?
Who?
Oh, Valerie.
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah.
I do think Dad was the only one who looked exactly like the funny little picture that they put.
I agree. I actually thought his casting was quite
Yeah.
good. Yeah. I thought he looked like normal guy.
Yeah.
Which is important
Yeah.
for these movies, I think.
Yeah.
To work.
But yeah, they make Dad a character when he wasn't a character is the tough part.
Honestly, yeah. I think that's part of the issue. I don't disagree. It did feel kind of off. But also like the gazebo scene, like the staging feels weird on it because they kind of show up and this event's already like happening. And they're like, let's just hop in and do a little bit of dancing.
And so yeah, Molly and Dad dance, and
Yeah,
he's
it's
like, Miss
fine.
McIntyre, may I dance with you? And she's like, it'd be my honor, Mr. McIntyre. I'm like, I don't know. That's not me and my dad. I don't think it's you and your dad.
Me and my dad are very close.
Yes, but in a
like,
normal.
yeah, I was gonna say, well, because that's always my thing. Like, you know, I'm very close with my parents. I do lots of stuff with them, but I think like my parents are more like my friends,
Mhm.
and some people have weirder relationships with their parents, where
Something different entirely.
there's just something sinister
Yeah.
there, and I think the difference is there's nothing sinister in the relationship I have with my parents. But yes, Molly's got like a. I don't know. You guys were not saying like her dad's gonna do anything fucking weird to her.
It was just creepy.
Unfortunately,
The
way
acting wasn't there.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The way the actors played it, not the little girl, she's innocent in this. The way the dad played it was just sort of like, my gal Sunday. And you're like, that's your child.
Yeah.
No.
Like I said, it didn't feel creepy in the sense that we're implying anything like austere,
Correct.
but it did feel wrong.
I don't know. It just felt weird. Here's the thing, you guys. If you want to watch the movie after you hear our commentary, which I can't say that we're going to give you the most compelling pitch of
But
all
you
time.
can find it on YouTube.
But you can't find it on YouTube. You'll understand what we're saying. Something is just off about the whole movie.
Yeah.
I felt like.
Yeah, it felt like AI put together a movie based on the Molly books. And it's
Yeah.
like, can you change some things too?
Yeah. It feels very like hackneyed and like weird. And the Molly actress.
She's not a good actor.
No.
So Dad gives her the locket in this scene,
yeah.
and she delivers the most unenthusiastic, I'll keep this forever. She's like, wow, I'll keep this till the day I die.
She's like, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. McIntyre.
And that's our like love scene with Dad.
Yeah. And then we got to go back home.
And then we find out that Dad is leaving.
Bro. Okay, so Dad's a doctor.
Dad's a doctor.
Same
Dad.
div.
My
Dr.
dad, the doctor.
Your dad, the doctor.
Dr. Dad. And he and Mom look all serious, and they come home, and then they're about to tell the kids something big, and then a bomb raid drill happens. So they've got to go into the shelter. And then Jill's like, well, what time better than now to tell us that freaky news you're about to tell us?
Right,
And I'm
like, what's
good for
going
you,
on?
Jill.
Yeah, she's like, well, we don't have,
She's
we're
like,
not
what else
going
are we
anywhere.
doing? There's no Game Boys.
Yeah, we're all here in our weird dark basement.
And so Dad's like, guess what, guys? I decided I'm shipping out. And it does not look like Mom is on board with this decision.
He literally, the way that he's like, so I've been hearing from the boys that they need doctors on the front. Soldiers are falling left and right. So I have to go.
And
her mom.
Ricky is the brother's name, not Todd or Brad. It's Ricky.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because then Ricky's like, golly whiz, I'll come with you. And they're like, fuck no.
They're like, you're a child and you're not doing that. And he's like, Dad's like, nope, I just have to. Nobody is making me, but I simply must go. I'm being summoned and I have to do it.
But Molly does say one of my favorite lines, which I'm going to use to refer to England now. A strange country that's being bombed for real. Not for fake like our country.
Yeah, not for fake. Not for fake seas.
She's like, I don't care. You're going off to some strange country being bombed for real.
Yeah.
For real bomb.
Every time she talks, also, like, there were a lot of times where I felt like the adults were all talking in kind of more like the transatlantic, like, period style. And every child in the movie is talking like whatever year it was made.
We're just like regurgitating lines.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, I don't believe that you said that. Like, I don't believe you.
I don't believe you know what year it is.
I don't believe you're in the 1940s.
What year do you think it is?
I don't know what my next note was about, but I wrote, not sure if I feel like this is adding to the experience.
You think it was that Dad was leaving during it?
Yes, I think yes, I do think that's what the note is about.
Because I said I actually kind of liked that in the sense that it built the stakes and made it like, it's the one thing they gave Molly was that it made it personal to Molly while we were experiencing it, because it was like a sacrifice that we got to see Molly take, whereas in the book it happened like 6 or 7 months ago.
Right, and he's just been gone.
Yeah, so we don't get to see it. So I think
that's true.
I think this is the one thing that I did like that they did, as much as it's a little bit weird and they had to create a dad character before, is that it does show that like Molly is like, that like some of Molly's like complaints initially, oh, excuse me. He's so desperate to sit on it.
Yeah, he's like right here though. He's like right here, Mom. This one.
Yeah. But I think it shows that like when Molly has these petty complaints about like this and that, like she's also given up, like she's also acknowledges that there is something risky. Because I did think that part where he was like, "Oh, well, like, I'm not gonna be on the front," and she was like, "You don't have to be on the front to be, like, fucking killed,"
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I think it
I
does
think that's
acknowledge
fair.
that she knows the brevity of the situation a little bit more than, like, is it
Just well, I
yeah.
think that something you know what, I will give you that. I think I was more hung up initially because I was just sort of like, we're 35-40% into the movie, and I'm like, I don't even really know what else we're gonna do
Yeah.
here, and yet
And they found almost nothing.
and they found almost nothing to do. But yeah, no, so, you know what? You've swayed me. I'll agree. I'll concede to that. I do think you're right because I think we've always said, like, Molly's problem has always been, like, the, like, separation
Yeah.
between, like, you don't see how it really affected her.
Yeah,
You
so
never
I
really
think it was
see
a
how it
way
affected her mom.
to show us a little bit more, and we kinda find out
Oh,
a little bit
wait. Okay, hang
oh,
on,
yeah.
sorry. My next 2 notes were, "Let's tell the kids while they're scared that dad volunteered to leave." And then I said, "Molly's brother being very excited about the idea of being enlisted."
I know. He should be alive now.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn, he's gonna be really excited when Vietnam rolls
He's
around."
real excited. Don't worry, you'll get your day, Ricky.
Yeah, King, just like your pops back in the day, you too could go to a
You too
war
go to a war that doesn't
unnecessarily.
matter.
Yeah, yeah.
You go to a war that matters even less,
I just
potentially.
it really is just the setup of the scene is very I think I think the combo of those is why I was like,
I
your
agree.
children are scared.
I know, it's a tense moment already, and they're like, "Well, what
They're
if we
like
really brought home the feeling of war by telling you dad's
they're
leaving?"
like, "And nothing's gonna change other than everything that's gonna
Which
change."
we see pretty immediately because
Yeah.
Molly is walking with her friends, and they're talking about teacher again.
Yeah, I
Um,
more gossip about their teacher.
yeah, they're still yapping the same 6 notes about the
Oh
teacher.
my god.
I did like seeing the stars in the window because they were not what I pictured.
I felt the same way.
I pictured them so much gaudier,
I
just
thought
like
it was interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, the flag, right?
Yeah, they're like little like embroidered like the like hand like the flags that hang down, like banner flags kind of with a blue star in the middle of them. And I pictured it just like a like cardboard, like flashy blue like star that you'd put in your window.
Okay, I had a similar thing. You know those, like, folded triangle flags people get for, like, service members that are uh, that's what I was picturing. I was like, they're just putting those in their windows, and I was like, "That can't be right."
It
And
makes
then I
more
saw
sense
that.
given the era. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff like as I'll be like cheesy here. That's the kind of stuff I like about seeing these things.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that like I mean, it's almost like sounds like a stupid comparison, but like the cornucopia in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like when I first read it, like I was like I literally pictured like a Thanksgiving
No, I was
cornucopia.
the same way.
And it's cool they had it shaped like one, but I was like, "Oh yeah, this design makes way more sense than what I pictured in my
Right.
head."
Well, because I think, like, when you read it, you're like, "Oh, I'm going to the first thing that I can, like, imagine in my head," that's like well, because in a pleasant way, like, now, like, we are not pleasant, that's not the right word. I'll just say my thought and then I'll come up with the word I'm looking for. I think it's interesting to see in action because right now, like for the most part, people who have family members in the service and stuff like that, it's kind of a more invisible thing because when we're not actively in like combat or in war, like the world wars and like a lot of the older historical wars, even like Vietnam, like I think they were much more visible and a lot more high impact versus like there's obviously conflicts and wars happening now still where like enlisted like US servicemen are like and women are out there serving, but I don't feel like unless somebody tells you, you necessarily know. We don't have that sort of equivalent. And also I feel like it's not as encompassing of like our whole country the way that like at this time it was like everybody was having to change their lives
Right, it's like
and a lot more
nostalgic in a way that
people
we don't experience because we didn't live during that
but no,
time.
exactly. I
It
think
is like the good old it is what I think when people say, "Oh, the good old days," when it was like we did appreciate that people were fighting and
yes.
like that it was just kinda like a part of like the tradition to be like, "This is a subtle thing. I'm not gonna like tell you all the time about it." But like
Yes. I think patriotism looked different
it feels
then.
more present but less on the nose.
Yeah, it's much more like, "Oh, yeah, my son
It's just
is
a part of
away."
it's a part of the fabric. It's not like now where it's like, "You gotta support the troops." It's like, "Here he is. He's doing this," you know? And so they are talking about all that, and, Mrs. Guilford comes over to help Molly because now that dad's at war, mom has to get a job.
Yeah.
And Miss Guilford is way younger.
Okay,
And Molly is way meaner to her.
I agree. Also, I wrote emotional support casserole.
Yeah. Yeah, we find out all about making casseroles for people.
Oh my god, you guys. It's like a
The
5.5
casserole
minute
lore.
long scene.
Casserole.
Yeah, like Molly's mom's in the kitchen cooking before she has to go get a job.
Mhm.
And she's like, we have to make a casserole. And
She's like, we
Molly's
make
like,
casseroles when
why?
people die. And
Yeah.
like some XYZ neighbor died.
Yeah.
And Miss Guilford says the same thing. They're like, we
Yep.
make casseroles, we help people out when people die. And Miss Guilford, like, I think that's where I said Molly is like getting nasty.
Oh my God.
Miss Guilford is like probably like, I think they're posing her as someone who's like in her like 60s. She has a son who is like in the war effort. And she cooks and helps out because she has no one at home.
Yep.
And she is talking to the McIntyre kids about her son at war.
Yep.
And like showing them pictures. And mom asks how everything's going. And Molly's like, I'm so fucking sick of seeing her son. This is so boring.
I know.
And everyone in the family is like, Molly, her son is the only person she has. Like, let her fucking talk about him. Molly's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey.
Also, she's like
You're
helping
nasty.
take care of your family. Like, yeah, again, Molly just gets to be whatever kind of brat she wants. And there's really, like, people do like scold her, but there's never real consequences for her misbehavior, which I think is why she never changes.
Yeah, and of course, like, along with this, Miss Guilford is talking so much about her son she loves so much that we know he's going to die in the next scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he does die.
Yeah.
And I said it was a little bit on the nose because mom is making a casserole and Taps is playing in the
I
background.
did write grief casserole.
Grief casserole, and they start playing Taps.
Yeah, babe. Yeah. You guys, the movie's really weird.
I think Taps is so funny. I know it's not, but it's just good.
I feel like it
It
has.
says so much for so little. Like, you can put tabs on something and people know exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's like putting Lacrimosa
Yeah.
from
Exactly.
Mozart, you know?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like,
You're like, we all know it's coming.
it can be a picture and it speaks 1,000 words
We
with
all-
that song.
Yeah. We all know it's coming. Yeah. Also, mom is in pants.
Yeah, and
By
she
the
was
way, you
good.
guys. Yeah. She's getting her job at the plant. Although Molly is kind of like eyeing her like, wow, mom's ugly now. Mom has to wear pants.
Defeminized.
We are
That's not our
we are
woman.
ugly brokies in this
Yeah.
house.
And mom does wear the little like bandana. She's like, is it too much? I'm like, Rosie, no.
It's so cute.
And Jill,
She looks really good.
I do think Jill nailed it in terms of being like a buttoned up oldest child.
Yeah.
She's like, wow, mom, you look like the bee's knees.
Yeah.
But I've got a science test, so I can't pay attention to
Yeah.
this.
She's like, anyway, back to the grind.
And
I too must become an engineer someday.
And mom and Jill are sharing a room
Yeah. Which feels stressful.
because guess who's coming to town?
Uh-oh.
Little British girl named Emily.
A child.
But guys, we get Emily, and this is the plot point that I think I actually liked better, that Emily stays longer.
Yeah.
I think because in the books it's insane that Emily's there for like 3 weeks and then gone. So they basically like they have the same plot as someone was supposed to take Emily in, like a family member or like a great aunt, and she couldn't, and so the McIntyres offered to help and help Emily out. And so they move Jill out of Molly's room, and Molly moves in with Emily. And Emily is like, she's in the book, she's shy and quiet,
Yeah.
but she's also a liar.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She like Linda and Susan and Molly are all there. We have that scene, and she's like, actually, I'm a lady. My mother's Lady Bennet. And you're like,
And we live in a manor.
and we're like, oh my God, a British.
And a house with our servants and aristocratic royalty.
And then Molly's like, well, I bet this place is a piece of shit to you then. And then Emily just doesn't speak, which is the best way to be a liar.
Yeah.
It's to just not, to seem above your lies,
That's
even,
right.
you know? Just
That's right. I've made a statement. I will not be
I'm
elaborating.
not gonna, yeah. I'm gonna let you cook on it.
No thanks.
And you tell me what you think, and I'll tell
Haha.
you if it's true.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, cool.
And then I never said it, you did.
Right. Surprise.
She's really good.
She's really good.
And she's also a really good speller.
Yeah, spelling bee, you guys.
And in a plot twist, Molly's a good speller.
Yeah. I don't have any recollection.
No, in the book where Molly shit the bed.
Yeah, okay.
She
That's
like couldn't spell anything.
yeah.
And it was in a different book.
Yes.
And so
They really hackneyed the plots together here.
they did. And so this is another note that Chelsea said. When Emily wasn't saying anything, Chelsea says her silence is damning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, she's got like a perfect spooky little girl face.
Do you think she's actually British?
I couldn't tell. She didn't talk like
Enough.
enough to
She was
be like
giving
noticeably bad, but it was kind of giving child actresses first time learning accent.
she was giving
She'll feel bad about it if she's really British.
the Madeline in the Madeline movie British accent, which
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna watch that movie and review it because that's a fantastic movie. No,
Is it?
have you seen the Madeline movie?
No, babe.
Oh my god, no notes. It's so good.
No notes.
Yeah, Madeline, perfect casting.
Okay. I mean, I
Um,
love the book growing up.
Miss Clavel is fuck, who is it? It's some very famous actress and she does great.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I know her. She's married to one of the Coen brothers.
Oh, I don't. I'm sure I'll recognize her name when you say it.
It's
I'm so tired.
bum, bum, bum. Oh my god, just tell me. Frances McDormand.
Oh, hello.
It's perfect casting.
Love Frances McDormand. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's Nigel Hawthorne as Lord Covington.
Okay, crazy.
The casting is great.
interesting.
It's incredibly
Okay,
cast
we can
film.
rip.
The
I'd be
Madeline
down.
is cute.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, cute.
guys, if you like the Madeline movie and you want us to review it, like
Just our bonus epidodes from now on.
Silly's gonna pop in
just
for
be more
movie nights.
just weird movies that are like American Girl
Jason,
adjacent.
yeah.
Oh wait, hang on. Before we get too far down
Yeah.
the plot, unless maybe I'm misremembering when it happens, but there's a point in time in which Molly goes to talk to Miss Campbell on her own, and they're like sitting in a big empty gymnasium.
Yes.
With the piano.
I took no notes on this stuff, but I do remember
Oh,
it.
okay. I wrote it because they have a conversation and Molly is like practicing whatever, and unsolicited, unprompted, she's like, Miss Campbell, we're all thinking about your wedding all the time. She's like, we're all excited about it. And I said, imagine your student telling you that they imagine your wedding and then dancing like a freak. She dances.
And then tap dancing poorly.
Yeah. Then she's like, ka, 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 ba, 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 ba.
Cha.
Yeah. And Miss Campbell's just kind of like, mm-hmm. And you can tell she like also feels like she can sense that her fiance's probably gonna die.
She
kinda has
sense that he's going to
has
die.
that aura about her. But she's like, and we think about like the dress you're gonna wear and the flower girls you're gonna have, us probably. And I was like, kids say a lot of like odd offbeat things all the time, but I was like, there's a certain curious thing you must have to deal with as like a younger child educator of being like,
I think
Huh.
it is this weird thing where like, and I will also just like as children who are not like, I'm not trying to say this in a weird way, but are not sexual beings. I do think there is a thing where kids do develop fixations on people because they think they're cool.
oh yeah.
And I mean, I even remember it was like very cute, but when I was like 17 or 18, there was this little boy in our neighborhood who was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Like somewhere around like he was under 10.
Yeah.
And he was like a little weirdo. Like he was like he came from a family where his like parents didn't like celebrate holidays. It was like maybe Jehovah's Witness or something like that.
Yeah.
But like he was just a little kid, and I think one time he like I was like on a run and he was like trying to get a turtle out of the road, so I helped him. And he was like, "Thank you." And I was like, "Of course." And then he developed like the biggest crush on me as like, and it was so cute because he would like come up to my house and ask if I could play. And my mom was like, "She can't.
She's a grown woman.
She's a grown woman."
She's
'Cause it
got to
was,
go
like-
back to high school.
Yeah, and like, but it was funny because he would like leave. He would draw pictures for me and him, and then he would leave them in our mailbox. And it's like, and it was like the most harmless thing. It was just like it would be like the bay where we lived, and then it'd be like me and him playing by the bay, and it was like the funniest thing. But it was also crazy because he was like, you know what the most normal thing I can do as like, again, as a child is there's this woman who I fancy because of some help with a turtle.
Right. Well, yeah.
And now I have to see her every day. I have to do things. I'm thinking about her.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to draw her pictures. I'm going to go up to her house and put them in her mailbox. Like, yeah, it's crazy behavior, but you're a kid.
Well, but as I say, I think to your point, especially like with Molly and like the Miss Campbell stuff, I think like at that time especially, but I also think like when we were both growing up, you like are usually in some regard surrounded by adults and you want to feel included in adult stuff. So in a very simplistic way, you're like, oh, well, adult stuff is adults get married, adults fall in
And
love,
you're like, if I act
adults,
like I know what's going on, this adult will think that I'm just like them.
yeah, like adults have a wedding and like I want to be a part of that
Yeah.
wedding and like that's special. So like that's something like I want and I can relate because I know about these things. And you're like, well, you don't actually know about these things. And also if you were older, like if you were even like a high schooler, you'd probably be like, oh no, there's actually probably a chance that like maybe her fiance doesn't come
So
back
let's not talk
in a
about
much
it
more
too
like
much.
visceral way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe let's leave it.
There's an aura. There's a death hanging. There's
Yeah.
the Grim Reaper from the book Thief is
Yeah. He's fucking
his
hanging out and
narrating.
waiting. Yeah. So
And
anyway.
So, one of my favorite, actually iconic lines in this is they are doing the spelling bee test with their class to determine who the 2 best spellers from their class are to go on to the school spelling bee and then go on to the world spelling bee where they might spell for the USO.
Yeah, you guys.
Everything's about
It's a lot about getting these kids on a world tour
getting
eventually.
these kids on a warboat.
And I was like, I'm not going to bother to Google it. But I was like, I feel like they're not shipping the kids off all that much.
If I was a soldier, nothing would boost my morale better than a peaky-haired, bespeckled 9-year-old spelling bleachers.
I literally was like, the idea of being at war and being like, here's your entertainment,
It's
and
a
it not
kid.
being like beautiful grown women like dancing
Yeah.
or performing or singing
Or a comedian or
or a
something fun.
comedian or like an acrobatic
Having
act
it be
or
a child.
gymnast. Here's a child spelling. I'd be like, you know what? Just ship me back off. I don't.
Send me to the worst area.
You know what? I don't care. Whatever, man. Yeah. Ship me off. It's over.
What's going on in Russia? I'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. Where's the most action happening right now and how quickly can I get
The
there?
Japanese islands.
I'd be like, I don't need to see another child spell or tap dance.
Dance for me.
Yeah, you know what's going to really inspire me?
I feel creepy.
That's what I'm saying. It has a weird energy to it. You're just sort of like, I know it doesn't I know it's not, but you're like, I'm just saying, like, at this point in time, all of those people are
Well, we've already pulled all the entertainers.
yeah, right.
Jon Stewart is in the war.
He's serving.
Jimmy Stewart is
He's serving.
serving. But so one of my favorite lines in this was Molly and Emily get chosen as the top spellers in the class. And so Molly is poring over her books and Emily is reading Emily's favorite author is Charles Dickens and she's reading Great Expectations, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Cuz I can't read Great Expectations.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a choice.
But we do get a nice little bit of lore where she says her favorite book is The Christmas Carol, but she lost her copy in a bombing and
Yeah.
she's sad about that.
Yeah.
But so she's reading Great Expectations and Molly says to her, hey, aren't you gonna don't you want to study for the spelling bee? And Emily simply responds, it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
And I was like, God, I need to use that.
that's so hard.
Just and then she looks back down at her book and I'm like, fuck.
She's like, maybe you need to study. I'm reading Great
I was
Expectations
I'd
at
be
11.
quaking in my boots if I was like, hey, don't you want to go over this? And so I said, not necessary.
It's unnecessary.
I'd be like, fuck.
You're like, oh, okay, Aura.
It's like a mind fuck.
Cool, yeah. You're like, you got me, thanks.
So, let me see. We do the spelling bee.
Yeah. Girl,
And
mess.
yeah, my notes are really getting small, so we're gonna have to figure out.
Okay, it's okay.
I know there's
I
some
can
decent.
start running out the stupid shit I wrote to just remember the plot points.
So we do the spelling bee, and
Yep.
Emily and her go back and forth. And of course, at one point, we have what I could classically see happening was Emily spells something with the British spelling, and they think that she's out, but then they're like, "Oh, that actually is technically correct, so we're gonna count it." And they ask Molly to spell something, but then all the adults on stage start being real loud and like a hubbub. And
Oh
basically,
my
someone walked
God.
on stage and told Miss Campbell that her fiance was dead. They didn't take her out
it's
into this.
Fucking nuts. I said, why the hell would they tell her on stage that something happened to her fiance?
This is like when Chelsea and I went to karaoke the other night and
Oh my
someone had a
God.
heart attack.
I literally was like, hello?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to hear about this.
Yeah, we were at karaoke and we
Oh.
were singing and someone was singing Shiza by Lady Gaga. And they stopped in the middle. The guy said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. I hate to interrupt, but the bar is closed. There's a medical emergency and everyone needs to leave." And everyone's like, "Hey, what?" It was the same energy because then it's just a hubbub of questions and
Well, and it's like how how is there an efficient way to clear out a bar of people without making it like a panic or like a spectacle too?
And it wasn't done well.
Oh, of course not.
Well, because at that bar too, they had to clear out that bar, and then they weren't sure if they were clearing out Copperhead.
Oh.
And so then everyone's going to Copperhead, and the Copperhead staff doesn't know if they have to close.
It does. Yeah. That's tough.
It was tough.
I was gonna say also that bar is like one of the bars you probably don't want to have like a medical emergency at because the parking lot is so fucked.
Oh, I know. We watched the ambulance back scoot out of it.
Yeah, no.
It
Oh
was
my
tough.
God. No.
And it was the same energy as this scene because they handled telling Miss Campbell that her fiance was dead the worst you could imagine.
I genuinely like
the worst way you could imagine your fiance dying and you being told about it was this scene.
I feel like to me it was a little bit like a weird like bad writing moment in the movie because I was like, to me it would have made more sense if we just had another scene of her teaching and like maybe talking about like, oh, like, you know, what can we do to support like the cause or whatever, and then have somebody come into class be like, can
Come
you
out
please
to the
come
hall.
out?
Yeah.
And then maybe like Molly spies and she sees that like Miss Campbell's like crying in the hallway.
Well, even in this scene, they could have had someone motion for her to come out of the auditorium.
Correct.
So they tell her on stage and she starts like sobbing.
Yeah, and she's like,
and then they're like, the spelling bee is postponed.
Yeah. So I did say at this point I was like, this part feels like we've gotten a lot sadder. Like once Emily shows up and then like kind of reveals
She's the harbinger of doom.
Yeah.
Because you remember
her
guys in
evil
the
aura.
book when the sad thing that happened to Emily was that her dog died? They're like, what if I raise you a dog and put in a mom?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we find out that Emily has been lying this whole time about her
whole family situation.
because like mom kind of was like, what do you mean she's a lady? Like her family owns a sweet shop above like a flat in London. And her family is just her fucking dad is a truck driver, a lorry driver.
Yeah.
And her mom is dead.
Yeah.
And Molly's like, huh? And then Emily does reveal it to Molly. And I thought this scene was sweet.
Yeah, I liked this.
Emily's sad and she's talking and Molly's like worried about like the war and Emily reveals like, I just wanted you guys to think I was cool. I didn't want to deal with all like the trauma I've been through. And like her mom, her mom is great and she misses her mom so much because Molly's talking about missing her dad and Emily's kind of like, at least you'll get to see him again. Because I won't. And then they become friends. And they share a bed because Emily's sad.
I will say I actually think, I guess in this moment, this is like the one little bit of like real, like nice Molly stuff we get.
This is where we get the few glimmers of good Molly.
Yeah. So I agree. I like this scene. And I thought it was very cute.
And then we're in summertime now. And it's like Molly is still practicing for her Lady Victory thing. And her friends are like, what should we do? It's the last day of summer. Should we go canoeing? Should we go to the soda shop? And Molly's like, I have a better idea. And she tap dances for her I would shoot her. If it was our last day of summer and I was like, what's something we could do that's fun together? And you're like, I know just the thing. And then you performed for me something that would benefit only you.
Yeah.
I'd be livid.
Yeah.
I would be like,
yeah.
Waste
because this, and then they're like, wow,
can we do something now? I mean, rightfully so. They're like, all right,
now that you've done that to us, thanks, back to the drawing board, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, that was okay. It wasn't even that good. No, the problem is they didn't even get a child who could
time.
They didn't even get a child who could tap dance.
No, it's so bad.
But and then it gets blurry here. But guys, at some point we get Molly's aunt.
Oh, okay. I literally wrote. I said, "Been a while," but she didn't have this cunty aunt before, did she?
No, she didn't.
4 question marks.
Chelsea hypothesizes that this is someone the director wanted to fuck.
Okay, could be.
Who he is like, you know what? I'm gonna make a role for you.
Right.
So it's Dad's younger sister, who's Molly's favorite aunt, who comes in for 5 minutes.
Who we
total,
all know. Oh my God.
It's just like, I'm here to hang and stay. Just kidding. I'm going to be a part of the first, like, Air Women's Division.
Okay, it's also like... But here's the thing. It's basically, we've already had this plot happen because it's the same exact plot beat as her dad being like, I have to unnecessarily go. I've decided. And then, yeah, Molly's like, I'm so excited to see you. Like, you can finally, like, you can hang out more, all these things. And she's like, no, Molly, it's a woman's responsibility to join, like, the Force, like, in any way that we can and show up. And Molly's like, not you too, witch. Iago, get out of here. I've been betrayed by one of my own blood.
Yeah.
And then Molly's like, okay, enough. And then she's mad because she's like, I can't believe this keeps happening to me.
But then her aunt convinced her the war effort is worth it.
Yeah.
And she hugs her and leaves. And that's
It's
literally
really heavy-handed.
it's crazy. And like, what was the point of it? And Molly goes home feeling better about the war effort until they get a telegram that Dad has gone MIA.
Yeah, Dad's just missing. And regarding the Molly Ringwald eye acting, a lot of it in this sequence when she's like, oh, when she reads the letter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I do think there is a specific type of torture that would be someone like coming to your house with a telegram and just being like, "This is for you,"
Yeah, and there's like nothing
and
you
you
can
don't
do.
know what's in the
Yeah,
telegram.
yeah, and you're like, thanks, and
Is
then
it
you're
good?
like,
Is it bad? And they're like,
oh.
I'm like, don't
Also,
give
you
me
guys,
that.
it's inconsistent, but there have been like the first half of the movie, there's no jumps in time, and then in the second 2/3, it's like it's 1943 fall, it's 1944 spring, it's
'Cause-
1945 summer.
Because we get like a full hog Molly sequence of her going all in on the war effort now that Dad's MIA.
Yeah, well, no,
She's like-
Dad's MIA. She needs to busy those hands.
She's recycling. She's like climbing on train tracks,
She's
grabbing rubber.
volunteering.
She's volunteering.
Yeah, she's digging around in the garbage.
she's a little raccoon.
You
digging
guys,
around the
literally,
garbage.
it's like images of a child rifling through dumps with like the monologue of the news reporter from the news movie being like, "In the war effort, kids should be
She's-
scrapping every piece of metal that they can."
She's in the hobo city that Kit so yearned to be
okay,
in.
literally, I was like, okay, something's happening here.
Isn't it
Kit
crazy this is 10 years
crossover?
later?
Yeah. It is funny to think about how close together
Kit and Molly
the two
are.
of them are. Yeah.
Even state-wise, Ohio and Illinois.
Yeah.
They're so close.
Overlap.
Yearning girls.
Come on, guys.
And then Dad's MIA status keeps getting like worse.
Oh my God.
And we're like, well, he's never ever coming home then,
No.
I guess.
And then it's winter.
And then it's winter, and Molly wins Miss Victory with
Oh my God.
through no merit.
I wish
And Allison says this must be a mistake, and I agree with Allison.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she does ham it up that in that scene.
Yeah.
I did think it was cute. I think she hammed that up appropriately.
Well, did you ever have? I think I did. And I think they still do it, but I do think it is a kind of a sick thrill of when they put like a casting list on like a board and you have to go up and see it.
Yeah.
And
in
you're
middle
like,
school. And then in high school, oh bless you. We didn't have any classes all of January. We'd do like J term. So we would do like 20, it'd be like 20 different projects, and there was like definitely an elitism to like which project you'd get cast in and what your role was. And they did it very dramatically where everybody got pieces of paper in a room, like Survivor style, and everybody would open and like see what role they were for like J term. And it was always a mess because people would be like, once they realized like if they didn't get the role they wanted, they'd be like out for blood. They'd be like, who
Yeah.
has it? Well, who has my role?
did you ever get the role you wanted?
Yeah, I got the role I wanted my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I was Helena in
I wasn't that, but-
Midsummer.
I got the role I wanted my senior year.
I think that's like, but that to me is the payoff. I think I would have been upset. Well, I actually wanted to be. They were doing like Lord of the Flies, a stage play.
You want to be Piggy?
I want to be Ralph,
Uh,
and it was like really interesting, really cool. Also, I wanted to just be feral on stage. But then, I was Helena, and my friend was Hermia, and we literally had like an almost foot difference in our height. It was so fun. Like, also, like you're a Shakespeare enjoyer.
I do dabble in the Shakespeare.
got
I
a
was
little
which number
dabble.
one in Macbeth?
Yeah, love. But like those stories are just so good, and I think like Shakespeare is so fun. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I think like there wasn't competition. I think in that regard, I learned later that like it was always going to be that I got like that role.
Yeah.
Like it was always kind of like the director was like, "Well, we had talked about it. You love Shakespeare. Like I wanted this for you."
Yeah.
But I think like there were times growing up where, I mean, as like a very tall woman,
Famously.
I was never gonna be like the romantic lead in like a traditional casting. So I think there was like a lot of times where I'd be like, "This is so unfair." Like,
You are
It's-
perfect for Helena, though.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
my god, no, like,
Yeah.
she was made for me.
Yeah.
yeah, like
That's
a
great.
spot on perfect.
That's
role.
great
But-
casting.
and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I really had fun because she's funny and like she's goofy and she's kind of insane and like the height is a part of it and like yeah. So like in the end, you're like, oh, it all works out.
Yeah.
But oh no, of course, there are times where you're in her case, Allison's case, she was rightfully indignant.
Yes,
Like, this bitch who can't dance.
I know. It's tough. I got cast as a Ursula in Bye Bye Birdie. And it was very cool, and I was very excited because that's what I wanted. I was like, "This is a funny role. This is interesting." It's like a commitment of like having a part in this movie, I mean this play or musical, without having like the main part. I get all the fun scenes. I get to be like feral on stage,
And people
basically.
will remember. Like,
Yeah.
that's like a memorable role.
But it was also those things where, like, as funny as it is, like through my high school drama department, it was almost like the most like, I knew I was gonna get that part before I got it
Yes.
because the drama instructor really liked me.
Yep.
And I have an okay singing voice. I'm not a singer, and I'm not a great dancer, but I do have impeccable comedic timing. And so the drama instructor was kinda like, there's a role in this musical that I think you'd be really good at, so I really want you, because I didn't do all the plays and stuff,
Sure.
because I love doing plays, but I thought it wasn't cool, which is
It's
tough.
yeah.
I didn't go to a drama high school.
No, I
So
understand.
it's like I had to establish myself as a cool person
Right.
and then
There,
start
you
doing
had a
plays.
lot more social politics at play.
Yeah, I couldn't do plays in freshman sophomore year because I had to establish myself as someone who's cool
Right.
enough. And then it could be a part of my
You
multifaceted
had to Troy Bolton.
personality.
You had to
Yeah,
Troy Bolton
exactly.
yourself. You were like,
Which
well, now that
is-
I've established my social acumen.
which is something we can talk about in a different podcast. But different subject. But like I started doing it junior and senior year, and like basically I did a bunch of I like led the improv troupe at school, and the teacher was like, "There's a role," and I was reading through the script, and I was like, "It must be Ursula. That seems like exactly what she wants me to do." And it was so clear even during the auditions because there was another girl who really wanted Ursula, and the teacher was not giving her like the time of
No,
day.
but that's just it, right? Once you've clocked, but again,
Which felt so satisfying in a dark way because she'd be like, "That's great, like
no, I
that's
get
great,
it.
Andrea. Like, Caroline, can you do the scene again?" And I was like,
there's something nice about knowing, I think, that
in the bag.
somebody it's in the bag because then you can kind of feel more comfortable like playing in an audition and stuff like that too, which I think is nice. But also I think as women who I think have more I think it is harder when you are a funny woman. Woes of being funny.
Tough for us.
But I think you guys can boo me in the comments. I think when you are funny as a woman, there are less roles for you. So I think it really feels good because I've never liked dramatic acting. It's never really spoken to me. I've always kind of not struggled with it, but I just don't get into it as much versus like a genuinely comedic role that you can like give your whole fucking like full body throat to. That's awesome. And then when you know somebody's like, I'm thinking of Caroline, I'm thinking of Celia for this part. Oh my God. It's like the best feeling because you're like, oh, because I'm funny, because I'm me, and you want me to be funny in that role.
Well, it's even like when I did the Shakespeare and I was witch number 1.
Yeah.
The teacher chose like me and 2 of my closest friends to be the witches.
Love that.
Because I think they're just like, oh, these 3 little freaks have like
And
a
you'll
good
play
vibe
off
going
each
on.
other,
Like they're
yeah.
gonna feel comfortable being weird together. Like,
Yes.
and so like that's all to say, like I do feel like from the casting director's couch, guys. I
From
do
over
feel
here.
like you know when you're supposed to get a role. Like I don't feel like I've ever been shocked to get something. Like because I think every time I've gotten a like ensemble role, I have not felt anything distinct in my audition. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like I have
I think
I've been
you-
hoping that maybe they saw something different, but like you know.
I think it's like when you watch a show and you see like an actor and actress get cast and you're like, oh, there was nobody else who could play that person. Like I think Amy Poehler as Leslie Knope, great example. Same thing with Nick Offerman.
Oh,
and
well,
his
one thing
Oh,
one
go
I
ahead.
think right now is for Hunger Games fans, Maya Hawke as Wyrus.
Oh my God.
Such
it's
good
kind of
casting.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, exactly. Where you see something and you're like,
Yeah.
honestly, Haymitch's actor.
He looks great.
I'm really
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
excited for that whole movie. I'm
It
excited.
looks
It's gonna look good.
really good. It looks really good. But yeah, no, to your point, I think I don't disagree with you. So I kind of feel like, but I think because the movie is fudgy and Molly has to win, I think it is like if I was Allison, if we were
Because
Allison.
Allison was feeling everything that Celia and I just said.
Yes. She
So imagine Allison's surprise when the worst dancer in her class gets it.
because again, it's like she's the dancer. Like
Yeah.
Allison is like the dancer in their class.
Oh, drive me insane.
Babe, there's zero fucking reason for Molly to get it other than maybe like pity points because her dad's gone.
But someone else's dad's probably gone too.
Yeah, or brother or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
everyone else has family doing stuff.
yeah.
So So Molly gets Miss Victory, as we know,
needlessly, and she's not practicing.
and as Celia points out, we don't get even like the fun glow up with Molly and Jill.
No, which like again, I think it's weird to say humanizes her, but like makes her feel more like a real little girl.
Well, I think we said that changes with our favorite Molly book because it seemed the most like real, where it was like even just the silly things of like Dad writing and saying he's coming home and not saying anything distinct about Molly except like I can't wait to eat roast beef with you guys. Like,
yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite lines of that book is like Dad mentioned me in the same sentence as roast beef.
Yeah.
I'm like relatable.
You're like, no,
you
for
feel like
sure.
I want to show people that
You're
I'm
like, yeah, no, that's my dad for sure.
And I do think the one thing I liked about that book in particular was that like Molly is like a 10 or almost 11-year-old, and I do think that is like the year that you start like I want to say in a creepy way, but like start exploring a little bit, and you're like, oh, like what would it be like if I was into like braids or like I tried something different? Because you start to realize that like you're for whatever level you feel comfortable, you want your appearance to reflect how you feel. You're not doing like what your mom dressed you up as anymore. You're starting to do what you want to dress up as.
I was gonna
And
say,
so that's what I think was nice about that book was that like Molly was kind of like, I want to try something different. I want to like not wear my glasses. I want to do this. I want to do that, you know?
well, because I'll be interested to hear as you guys, well, listen rather, as you guys get further into some of maybe the slightly more modern girls, because I actually do think that interestingly that's something missing from, but we read a lot of the historical dolls together, so like they had less of the
Well, I mean, that's
simplicities of it, but I agree.
that is kind of nice about Molly is because as we talked about in a way, like she has the limits of like not really being super affected. She could have more petty girl things like, oh, bouncy curls are in and I have stick straight hair.
Yep, no,
You know?
but I was gonna say like
Felicity had no time for that.
no, oh my god, she was like revolution, viva.
She's wearing pants and riding her horse in midnight.
She's like, damn, cross dressing is gonna be so in a couple of years. But no, I agree with you. I think like 10 or 11 is when I was finally like, can I get a lip gloss? Can I have mascara and blush? And
That's when I was like, I don't really like pink.
Yeah. No, right. Like you kind of start to be like, oh, this is what I like.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to play with these things. Like, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
agree.
So we kind of lose that, and then like I mean, guys, something else probably happens in the movie. I don't have notes on it. We keep getting telegrams about Dad being MIA and not great.
There's just more news. It's like a really weird ending. It goes really quick, and then it's the Miss Victory pageant.
Miss Victory pageant. It is like all the stops. Molly does her dance. It was very bad.
She looks stupid.
She looks stupid. But Dad is backstage, and I did write, this is so funny because Molly like cannot see him because of her glasses, and she like runs away from him initially.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
he's
like,
got
I don't know who that freak man
Got like a
is.
cane. And so she's like, oh God.
She's like, ah, a freak.
And then when she finally sees him, it's Dad. Which again, I did like. I think one thing I said when we recorded the episode was I liked the end of Changes for Molly, where she doesn't end up being able to do the Miss Victory.
I agree.
And then Dad, she's the first one to see Dad come home.
Yeah.
I think that's I thought that was such a sweet ending.
It's a more real ending, I think.
But I did like. So we'll jump now. But like everyone sees Dad come home and it's great, and they celebrate Christmas together. I did like this part of the ending where Dad brings them all their gifts. Yeah. And then Emily's still with them, and he brings Emily a copy of The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, which was her favorite book.
It's super cute.
And Chelsea started crying.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good emotional
It
heart
was a
ending.
good way to end this. Like, I like the original Molly ending better, but I thought this was sweet. Because then he mentions that he has talked to Emily's dad. And so, like, Emily's been stressed because it's like 1940. She's not like talking to her dad, which is like crazy.
Yeah,
she's just
she's
like
living with these basically
she's been
strangers.
adopted.
Yeah, she's been adopted by people she doesn't know
in a country she's not from,
and country's not from. Yeah,
and so they all are together for Christmas, and they start reading A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
and the
it's very
movie
cute.
ends.
Also, she gets the doll at the end.
She gets the nurse doll.
She does get the nurse doll.
And someone pointed out, I think, in the comments, which I do think we overlooked, which I do think is funny because I think, if anything, we overanalyze these books. The reason she wanted the nurse doll was because her dad's a doctor. And, like, at the time, she, like, as a woman, could only aspire to be, like, a nurse. So it was like, I want to be like my dad.
Okay, that is
because we were just like, why does she want this nurse doll?
I think it's also because, like, all the other dolls and all the other books are basically, like, they just look like they're the American Girl doll equivalent.
Yeah, but it's also, like, besides... It felt like, I think we talked about this too, Molly's want of a doll felt the most inorganic.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense.
Because even when Kit got her doll, she didn't want a doll, but Ruthie made her an Amelia Earhart like doll,
which is cute
which like made sense
and
for a kid.
fits to her character.
But everyone else's dolls, like, these are doll girls, and Molly wasn't. So
Yeah.
it did feel a little bit like, well, why does she want a doll? She seems too old for this.
Yeah.
Even though she's the exact same age.
Yeah, but I will agree with you. I think Molly's always felt like 2 or 3 years older, and I don't know if it's because she was the first girl written, like we
But I
were
think
talking
it's-
about before we recorded.
I think it's because honestly, she's more close to us.
That's probably
And
true.
so like I think when we are growing up and stuff, by the time that we're 9 and 10, we're less into dolls because we have other things, because we have other technologies. Not because, but when you look back at someone who's from like the early 1900s and stuff, dolls are still the main thing to have.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we just like might be like kind of attributing to Molly like she should be over dolls by now because she should be onto something else as like in a toy progression, because there are more toys as like the
Yeah.
years go on.
100%.
So that's what I think is a kind of, I'll give us like a break on that, and also a little slap on the wrist.
No, sure.
A slap on the wrist
little,
and a tip of the
little
hat.
kick and a kiss.
Yeah. But that was the Molly movie, guys. It was weird.
Fine.
I watched the first 20 minutes twice, which was too much.
I had to rewatch the end because the first time I watched it, I fell asleep and I
Yeah.
missed the last 20 minutes or so.
Bored.
Oh, big yawn.
I would say I watched it with Chelsea and her husband.
Yep.
And I had infinitely more fun with commentary.
Yeah.
So, and we were originally going to watch it together, and then our schedules got crazy. It feels like we would have had more fun. I think like I had fun watching with people.
Yeah.
I think if you want to watch this, get some of your girls together, your dolls,
make
and
a
watch
little victory spritz.
it. Yeah, make a little victory spritz and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, not worth a watch on its own. The other ones are fun.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly Felicity, but
Felicity's good.
Yeah,
Samantha
Samantha
was
one's
good.
cute.
We like Samantha.
yeah. I just mean
Um,
more like for like a solo watch.
yeah. No, Felicity is all vibes of like
That was just like horse girl vibe, country girl
it's
summer.
it's like the movie you watched when you were sick in a comforting way as a child.
yeah, 100. Receive feverish visions of running away.
But yeah, I
All
mean,
right, guys.
it was a good time to talk to you again.
I know. Thank you. I just in my brief moment descending from the heavens.
Yeah.
Coming back down here to earth.
No question. Did you watch any of the Julie coverage? And as Julie,
I have been
as the
watching the
original
Julie
girl,
coverage.
what did you think of it?
I just feel like I didn't. I think I told you I only ever read one of Julie's books.
Yeah,
so I
they're
think there was
crazy.
a lot more shit going on in her life than I think I ever clocked.
They got delightfully unhinged like the book should.
You know, I was gonna say though, I think to the credit where we've taught. Honestly, though, I found the coverage that I did watch more interesting than, like, again, Molly. Because even though Julie's even more modern, even more closer to us, I feel like
Julie's not a brat.
she's not a brat. She's interesting. I like the divorce plot line. I think it's interesting. Although it is funny. Somebody online was like, sometimes your problem is that you're escaping slavery, and sometimes your problem is that
Your parents
you
were
have
divorced?
2 Christmases
Yeah.
or something like that. And I was like, yeah.
If that's not
Yeah.
the American girl experience, I don't know what
Also,
is.
I think like her best friend is cute.
Ivy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think that's interesting and fun and like
Yeah, I think Sloan and I are gonna cover the Ivy book in a bonus episode.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. Well, but like anyway, I just think Julie I don't know. There was just more to her than I think I
Well, I mean, I've said it a few times now, and I just will reiterate. Like, I remember being really hesitant about this portion of the podcast because I thought, like, and I said the other week, which is relevant to you too, for just joining us for occasional things. I think I'm definitely going to cover through Caroline.
Yeah. Cute.
But then it does get
gotta.
into like the Be Forever type stuff, which is where I do think, from what I've read and stuff, the quality goes down. Also, the books get infinitely longer.
Oh my god, I know.
And as a peek behind the curtain, guys, it's hard enough to cover a 70-page book in like week increments and have people read those books and then cover and edit. When they're 140 pages, I'm not sure how feasible it is to do like one-off episodes and have one person, like especially with the new kind of setup of having different co-hosts. Like, I don't know how much I can ask grown adults with jobs to read 200-page children books like that.
yeah.
If
I
they're not,
feel
if they're, and I mean, I will say not in a mean way, but if they're not going to be good, like with Dear
Oh, yeah.
America, I'd be
No.
fine being like, hey,
But
let's
those are
do
good
like,
and you know they're good books.
Yeah.
Like
and so I'd be fine like if I was like, hey, let's do 4 episodes for like this one Dear America book and cover that. So I'm definitely covering through Caroline, and then the rest might be bonus episodes, or I might go back and do some of the mystery books and
I was
stuff
gonna say,
like that.
I think the mystery books seem like the most.
And you have to tell me which one you want to which girl you want to read a mystery
I'll
book
rifle
of.
through that drive
Yeah.
and I'll pick which one
Yeah.
seems the most compelling.
And you also have to see if you can find me a similar Dear America drive.
Oh my God. Just go on Tumblr. That's where I found it originally.
Okay, perfect.
But we'll investigate.
But guys, like, thank you for joining us again. And
Thank
I
you
hope
for
this
listening.
is like a fun bonus episode with our Celia in heaven. She's back. She's better than ever. She's
That's
still
right.
thriving. Hopefully she misses us a little bit.
Oh, of course. Please.
The-
I'm always reading the comments. Every time a new episode
She
drops,
knows you guys.
you guys, please. I'm always paying attention. You think I might be up in heaven in a way, but there I watch like a restful, quiet angel.
And I think the one hard thing, like, I think all the co-hosts so far have nailed it. The one hard thing is, like, they don't have the lore that we have about, like, Papa. Like, I can't go on a riff about
You're like,
Papa.
please. You're like, please, Papa, bring him home.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's just like, I was like, yeah, there's a little lore drop in
Yeah.
like having
Or like
a
the
co-host.
Eggman.
Yeah, no one knows what the Eggman.
That's okay.
I think
Just that's our little thing.
yeah, it's just
It's just for us.
It's just us
Just
and the
for us.
Eggman guys. But yeah, thank you so much as always. Like and subscribe, comment,
Subscribe, leave a little comment.
yeah, let us know what you think of
Leave
the Molly
questions
actress.
for Caroline's next monologue episode.
Yeah, please do, because that was really hard, and I'm sorry if you didn't like it. It was only 15 minutes though. So.
I'm not sorry.
But and yeah, I'll make more recipes and I'll have more content coming out next week. And until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Papa, babe, Papa, babe.